All right, folks, today we're going to talk about factoring special cases, which is just a simple way of saying we have some formulas that are going to be helpful for specific looking polynomials. So if we can recognize, as it says, if we can recognize these special patterns, then we'll be able to easily factor these expressions and find their roots. So go ahead and start with these formulas for perfect squares. You can write them down exactly as they say. A squared plus 2ab plus b squared is the whole a plus b squared, and a squared minus 2ab plus b squared is the whole a minus b squared. So get those down and then unpause it. So pause, right, get those down. We'll start these examples. All right, let's get started on these examples. So in example one, we see 4x squared plus 12x plus 9. And it might not immediately be apparent that that's a perfect square, but it is. So let's see how. To do this, what we're going to do is analyze these first and last term and just see, can we make this into a square? Can we see it in our mind, or can we write it down in a way? And we can, because we can write that 2, right? 2 squared is 4 and x squared is x squared, right? So the whole thing, when it's squared, becomes this. And similarly over here for this 9, we know that 3 squared, right, is 9. Now we aren't going to have to do this all the time. We just need to be able to see how this plays out for the sake of the example. The next thing we need to check is the formula says 2 times AB. So now we have A, now we have B, and is 2 times this, is that equal to 12x? Well, let's see. So we're going to need to write 2. We need to write a 2x, and we need to write a 3, right? Is that 2 times 2x times 3, is that equal to 12x? And it is. 4x times 3 is 12x. So if that checks out, right? So all we're doing is checking. If that checks out, then this formula applies. So we've just shown that the formula applies, and that means we can just write out this whole thing squared, just like this says. And we're just going to fill in with A. So A is 2x. And B is 3, so plus 3. All right, try out this example here on your own, and then check your work in just a second. All right, so hopefully you've gotten a chance to think about this, and you can see that it's a little bit more straightforward of an example. Right, this time, yeah, A is just the y, right? So we've got y squared, and B is just 5 squared. And when you multiply it 1y times 5 times a negative 2, you are going to get a negative 10y. So this checks out too. Of course, it's an example. It's meant to. And so we can just plug in these pieces. And what we're going to plug in is y. And we're going to plug in b, which is 5. But this time, notice it's supposed to be a minus in between. So just make sure you put that minus in between. And that's it. Okay, pause, get this down, and we'll move on to the next section. That means you're ready for the next section. You've got it down. Here's difference of squares. It's going to feel similar, but it is different. A squared minus b squared is equal to a plus b times a minus b. So let's go ahead and get that down, and then we'll do this example. Let's do that example. So similarly, we just need to see, can we write this as a difference of squares? And if we can, then the formula will apply. So just like last time, this is 2x squared, and this is 3 squared. And we've written it as a difference of 2 squares. And so that means the formula will apply, and we'll just write a plus b, and then a minus b. So 2x plus 3, 2x minus 3. We can write that in any order. We could write 2x minus 3 first if we wanted. That doesn't matter. But 2x plus 3, 2x minus 3, we're done. Try this next example on your own, and we'll keep on. How did this example go for you? And hopefully you saw that this can be written as 8w squared minus 10z squared. Right, so that's 2 squares being subtracted, so it applies. And that means we just get to write 8w plus 10z times 8w minus 10z. All right, pause, and we'll move on to the next section. All right, make sure you pause if you're not up to this part so far and get these formulas copied and then on pause. All right, let's keep going. All right, so we're going to be talking about sum of cubes and difference of cubes. It's really the same formula. There's just the sign is different. You can see here it says plus, and so that's plus, and then this is minus, whereas this is minus, minus, plus, right? So you can see how this kind of has the opposite of whatever these signs are. This has the opposite of whatever these signs are. And the rest is the same. So we'll go ahead and use this. First example is x cubed plus 1. Nice, simple, straightforward example. You can tell that they're both cubes, x cubed and 1 cubed. And so we'll just plug it in right away. And we'll do x plus 1, because that's a plus b. So a plus b, and then a squared, so x squared minus a times b. What is 1 times x? It's just 1x, right? So minus 1x or minus x. And then the last thing is plus b squared, so that's plus 1 squared, which is just 1. And that's as simple as this guy is. All right, so get that down and move on to this next example. Can you write this one as a difference of cubes? And if you can, well, then we're in luck. All right, what is the difference of cubes we can write here? Good, yeah, so we got, what, 3x cubed and then minus 2 cubed. So we're going to follow this formula perfectly. We'll start by writing a minus b, so that's 3x minus 2. And then we'll write 3x squared. That's not like that. It's like this, right? So we've got to multiply both terms or square both terms. So 3x times 3x is 9x squared. That says plus a times b. So that's 3x times 2, 6x. So plus 6x, and then plus b squared, plus 2 squared, which is 4. And that's it. That is fully done. That's fully done, fully done, fully done, and so forth. So that is the notes. Go ahead and pause, get all of that down, and then we'll move on to the practice problems. So there's a page in full, and then here are the practice problems. Just quickly make sure you can read this. X to the 6th minus 1, m squared minus 10m plus 25, 64m cubed plus 1, 9n to the 4th plus 12n squared plus 4, 125x cubed minus 64y cubed. All you got to do is factor these guys, and all right, hopefully it'll go well for you.